Scarlett and I are both using the lectionary text from the book of Acts. So if you're looking for this, and I forget the page number, it is Acts chapter 9, verses 36 through 43. Now in Joppa there was a disciple whose name was Tabitha, which in Greek is Dorcas. She was devoted to good works and acts of charity. At that time she became ill and died. When they had washed her, they laid her in a room upstairs. Since Lydda was near Joppa, the disciples who heard that Peter was there sent 2 men to him with the request, "Please come to us without delay." So Peter got up and went with them. And when he arrived, they took him to the room upstairs. All the widows stood beside him, weeping and showing tunics and other clothing that Dorcas had made while she was with them. Peter put all of them outside, and then he knelt down and prayed. He turned to the body and said, "Tabitha, get up." When she opened her eyes and seeing Peter, she sat up. He gave her his hand and helped her up. Then calling the saints and widows, he showed her to be alive. This became known throughout Joppa, and many believed in the Lord. Meanwhile, Peter stayed in Joppa for some time with a certain Simon, a tanner. This is the word of God for the people of God. Thanks be to God. Can you picture this scene? A room with many widows where they have been caring for Tabitha's body. The tears, the wails, the fear, the sense of emptiness and loss. The need to show Peter that Tabitha had cared for them and that she provided excellent works, not just good works, but excellent works. Here, look at what she has done for us. It mattered to them. Tabitha mattered in their lives. When they were vulnerable, Tabitha was there. She was providing for them. She was encouraging them. She was what we often think of as mothering. She was busy taking care of these widows, and now they are without Tabitha. Tabitha clearly has a different kind of role. This is the only use of the noun for disciple that's used in the feminine form in the Bible. Tabitha is noted as a disciple, one who has learned and is learning and is following the ways of Jesus. And now, all of a sudden, she is not there. The 8:30 service, Kurt sang, and I couldn't help but to think of my grandmother. He sang "How Great Thou Art," which was one of her favorite hymns. There are things that make us think about others. There are people in our lives who pass away, yet leave something behind. Both an emptiness and both something that is part of who we are. Tabitha left that kind of void behind. She left a void, but she had left a taste of what was possible. And today, on Mother's Day, we often stop and we celebrate. We joyfully declare Happy Mother's Day, and we move right along. Today, I'm going to ask you to do something harder. We're going to think about Mother's Day a little differently. about Mother's Day from the perspective of those who hear Mother's Day, and the first thing they become aware of is that empty feeling inside. For some of us, it's our mother or our grandmother has passed away, and on Mother's Day, we become intensely aware of the impact that they had on our life. So there is this bittersweet longing, this emptiness. For others, it's the loss of their child. And Happy Mother's Day is a very difficult day. I have a dear friend whose mother died a couple of years ago, and her daughter died last year. As I prepared to send her a note this morning, I thanked her for being my spiritual mom, but I wasn't exactly sure what to say, because she'd made a post that made it clear that she was struggling with Mother's Day, that there was a piece of her that was missing, an emptiness, a void. There are others who grieve not because someone is no longer with them. Instead, they grieve for what they had hoped for, the future that never was realized, the child that they never had, the relationship with a mother that they longed for but never had. I have a dear friend who manages to capture that as she talks about her mother who was abusive and neglectful, who wasn't a mother at that point, who she became estranged from. She knew being filled with pain, she knew being filled with the emptiness of a broken relationship, but God filling her empowered her to bring her mother home to care for her, to love her. That's the power of that void being filled by the Holy Spirit. And we can laugh and joke. I don't think there are many mothers who don't occasionally feel inadequate, feel like we have stumbled and fallen, or that we haven't gotten everything we need to get done. And that can be an empty feeling as well. Those are the feelings that are often unspoken on these days. But they need to be spoken because we need to remember that there are those around us who come to this day and they feel that emptiness. The same emptiness of the women that Peter ran out of the room. He emptied the room, and then he knelt and invited in God's work to begin. God's work of bringing forth new life in the face of death. And Tabitha is raised from the dead. Peter reaches out and helps her up. It's the first time we hear of Peter raising someone from the dead. He's healed already in these stories, but he has not raised someone from the dead. But he raises Tabitha and presents her back to those who depended on her, to those who loved her. But he doesn't just raise Tabitha and disappear. There's something about this odd tag to the end, that he stays with a certain Simon, a tanner. And it makes us look a little more closely at this story. Peter has changed over time. The good Jew, who previously would not have stayed with the tanner to avoid becoming unclean, chooses to stay with the tanner. He chooses to enter the room with the dead woman and bring her back to life. Peter has discovered the power of God to fill empty voids with new life. what you're working on. Where do you need new life? And what does that look like? One of the first things that Peter offers is some sense of hope. That's why they sent for him. This deep desire to know that God can do more than we ever imagine or expect. Kierkegaard says that within each of us there is a void, waiting to be filled. He describes it as a God-shaped void, that which only God can fill. It is that which gives us life, which offers us hope, which empowers us to love, which declares that we are beloved children of God. Yes, we are all children. Yes, we all have voids. And while we try to fill them with many things, memories, happy wishes, a pasted-on smile, nothing can fill that void except for God's love for us. So this Mother's Day, I invite you not to worry so much about pasting on a smile and saying Happy Mother's Day if it's difficult. I invite you to say, come fill me, O God. Come and fill me. To where your love overflows, as your love overflowed from Tabitha, that others might know what your fullness in our life means. Thanks be to God.